There's the faint silhouette of lower Manhattan, but because of all this toxic smoke, you can't tell. The sun is like a glowing ball. And this is the first time anything like this has ever happened to New York City. We better go check it out.
People experiencing all sorts of issues, headaches, burning eyes, asthma attacks, being exposed to air qualities at these high levels can really cause some major health concerns.
The immediate health risks are worsening of asthma and worsening of allergy symptoms. It can happen immediately in exposure to this type of air quality.
Some of the particles that are circulating now in our breathable air are very, very small particles. You can't really see them, and these particles are so small that they get ingested.
This is what that ends up looking like. Some pretty bad scuff marks. You know, you could subscribe. That would help me buy a new one. Look at the haze here in Times Square. That is wild. And because of all this smog, New York City is now the most toxic place to live anywhere in the entire world. We've had blackouts, we've had hurricanes, but this is a first. It also smells like smoke all the time. Not the usual kind of smoke you smell in New York, different kind. It also came on real quick too. Just a matter of hours, the city went from being what it normally is to like this orangey, weird color. In the morning, it's hazy like this, but in the afternoons when the sun, whoa, don't want to lose two cameras today. But in the afternoon when the sun is like directly overhead, it looks apocalyptic. And I can actually kind of feel it in my throat right now, just riding my bike with the helmet and the mask down and just breathing in the air. You can feel it a little bit, although that's not confirmed. I might just be paranoid. Anyways, all this smoke, it's from wildfires up here, and it's being blown down to where you can see New York City is.
That's coming downstream. The thickest haze and smoke is actually during the evening hours, so the air quality is only going down. More than 400 active wildfires are burning across Canada.
I spend a lot of time outside on my feet, and I definitely notice a difference.
Do you run?
I run a lot.
Did you run today?
I'm not running.
Not running, okay.
I'd be too nervous to run in conditions like this.
Fair enough.
I had 8 runs scheduled for the past 48 hours, all of them canceled. All across the East Coast. We had one in DC, one in Philly, 4 in New York in the past 48 hours, all canceled.
Due to the fires in Canada, the smoke is creating a lot of people getting sick. Like I'm a contractor and I got asthma and the smoke really got to me. So I'm gonna have to stay home and send my guys home because some of them are complaining about the smoke.
Dude, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. It's only for another couple days, right?
Yeah, but I mean, what do we expect for the future?
That's true. Yeah, there's gonna be more wildfires maybe, right?
Wildfires, and it's affecting New York City. I'm wearing a mask. I'm scared whether I come out on the street or stay home.
Right now our air quality's at a 198, and according to Apple, we're not in the green zone. And remember a few years ago when China was gonna have the Olympics and they had to shut down all their factories because the air quality was so bad? My guess is that this is what that was like, but kind of all the time. We'd have to go pretty far to actually get away from all this. And it's not just New York. Most of the country is experiencing some effect from this. But look, we're the purple, we're in the worst part. What's up?
Your ass, right?
Yes!
Yeah, I just moved back to the city.
Oh, you did? Awesome, man. You want to be in my video? It has.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys are here to cover this too, huh?
Yeah.
Shout out to TV Asahi, best news station ever, Japanese news station.
Yeah.
How long is this going to be going on for?
Couple more days.
Couple more days?
Right.
All right. See you later. Absolutely. I'll say hi to her. Take it easy. They used to work with my wife when she worked in Japanese TV. Anyways, Times Square is just as busy as it's always been, and it looks like there's the same amount of tourists and activity that you'd normally see if you were to come here on any other day. And if you're planning on coming here, they now have signs to let you know that if you take a photo, you're expected to pay for it. I was curious if the smog was going to stop tourists and other activity from happening. You can get that delicious street food. I'm sure it tastes even better. A little bit of smoke flavoring from the wildfires, and it might improve the taste of anything you get at McDonald's. And on the plus side, all this smog means you don't need as much sunscreen. That's not real medical advice. You should still wear sunscreen.
It smelled like, you know, our neighbors might be having a campfire, and it's just sort of an eerie feeling.
Medical professionals warning the poor air quality is already impacting people.
The immediate health risks are worsening of asthma and worsening of allergy symptoms. It can happen immediately in exposure to this type of air quality.
Now the recommendation is to stay inside, have the windows closed. We don't want you to breathe in any smoke. It would be bad for you. As you can tell, our apartment is like trashed right now.
Like Violet.
Violet's silly like this dragon?
Yeah.
They're saying don't do a marathon, don't like ride your bike around Central Park 25 times, don't do like an outdoor workout, a soccer game, all that stuff. Bad idea. Was that a cough? Now this apartment, it's got pretty thick windows, but even with these closed, you can still smell smoke in the apartment and in the building. You can smell it in the hallways of the building. I think it's just kind of permeating everything. Visibility's so bad that you can't see One World Trade from Herald Square. It's right there, but you can barely make out the silhouette. That's crazy. The Empire State Building's also kind of hard to make out compared to normal. This is another super busy part of town. We're over here by the 34th Street Macy's, their flagship location. And it seems that things here are pretty busy. There's a lot of people outside. It's not like people are staying in. Granted, no one out here is exercising, so that's probably a good thing. And I think electric bikes are probably the way to go if you don't want to be huffing and puffing. Now, at the end of the day, this is a city of 8.8 million people. Life is gonna go on, things are gonna go on. People are here on a mission to accomplish things. Work, school, something, tourism, whatever. But these offices are even emptier than normal. Companies that have the ability to remotely operate are doing so. Google, for example, told all of their employees to stay home today. They've closed all of their outdoor decks at their campus here in New York. And some city offices are taking advantage of remote work if it's possible. Oh, and if you thought you weren't getting a parking ticket today, good luck with that. You are getting a parking ticket. I think that if the city of New York could remotely give parking tickets, they would do that. Pretty soon there will be cameras on every street corner pointed at every potential parking space just to catch you if you decide to park there. It would probably pay for itself. They should hire me to set it up. Now, in addition to a lot of companies being temporarily closed because of this, certain Broadway plays are affected. Hamilton canceled all their performances yesterday. Now, some New Yorkers are wearing masks, some aren't. The mayor's office did recommend mask wearing.
Some of the particles that are circulating now in our breathable air, very, very small particles. You can't really see them, and these particles are so small that they get ingested.
Now, believe it or not, people are actually criticizing elected officials here in New York for not acting quick enough to alert the general public that this was going to happen. There was no like emergency declaration. I guess some people may have wanted more serious measures to be taken. I think it's more of like the advance warning thing. Like people had plans, people booked trips. Not everyone is able to be outside when this is going on. Some people might have asthma or something that could make it worse. That's where the criticism lies, that something should have been said sooner than it was. Not everyone's happy about that. Right now, we're still at a 189 for air quality. And at the current number, New York's not the most toxic city in the entire world. But in the afternoons and the evenings when this spikes, yesterday it was at a 484, I believe, and that's when that record happened. I'm also starting to get a slight headache. Oh, you did? Dude, thank you so much.
Can I take a selfie with you?
Absolutely. Are you a student here?
No, I work.
You work here. What do you do for work?
I go to finance.
Finance?
Yeah, I do finance.
Are they making you guys go to the office, or is it optional if you want to work from home?
So we do like hybrid.
Hybrid schedule?
Nowadays, yeah. So
Are they given any special permission because of the weather right now, or?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
They're like tough it out. Would you say it's less busy down here by Washington Square than normal?
I work in the area, so usually at night when I come over here, it's packed, and like it hasn't been.
So it's been quiet in this area. Interesting. So there's a difference between the tourist places where we just were and this, which is essentially a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Brooklyn. So have you ever seen like smog or anything like this?
No, actually, it's the first time, but this should pass.
I guess the one benefit of less people here is that there is way less trash in the water here. It's still not a color that really matches with what you'd want to go swimming in, but I'm sure that the Parks Department has a lot less work to do down here. You can see the Empire State peering through there. Usually it's way easier to see. Ice cream sales are probably down, unfortunately, but the financial center is finally visible. Look, even from here, you can barely see that thing. So crazy. Granted, right now, it just feels like a hazy day, but usually this park is absolutely bumping, especially this time of year. There's even less dogs in the dog park, which is usually so loud and annoying that you can't even hear yourself think. You know, I think the air quality is actually even worse inside the bathrooms here at the park. That's another issue we could talk about regarding New York. Chess tables are looking pretty active. You got games on all four corners right now. It seems like life is moving along. Just a little quieter down here. This is McDougal Street. This is normally one of the busiest streets down here in the West Village, but right now it's like crickets. Normally these cafes are moving. We're by the Comedy Cellar, Cafe Wa. There's a lot of restaurants down here though. They're all so quiet. Usually you can't even get a seat at some of these tables. See all the delivery bikes? That's probably what most people are doing. Getting deliveries so they don't have to come out. Same thing over here, just a few delivery bikes, nobody at the cafe. A little traffic across the street here. Again, this is one of those parts of town that just should be on fire right now. I guess the only traffic down here is traffic that has to take place no matter what. If you've got somewhere to go, you're gonna go there, you're gonna stay in there. But even though there's not a whole lot of activity happening in the city, the good news is that essential services are up and running. The subways seem to be unaffected. The governor is actually shipping 400,000 masks to the city for them to distribute. And it seems like even though people are making the personal choice, maybe not to come out and do anything, the city is still doing all of the stuff that it would normally do. And I guess that should give everyone comfort. I mean, if you're here, you want to live your life, you can. The city's not going to stop you. How are you? Just a black coffee. Cafe Lyria, best coffee in Soho. So some people are making the case that the reason we've got these fires is due to forest mismanagement in Canada. I'm not a forester, so I don't know if that's actually true, but the good news is that it seems like this sort of thing is preventable. Something could be done, and there's someone there to do it. Also, I was pretty happy to learn that the air quality, the fact that that fluctuates during the day was something I didn't know before, and that's a good thing because, you know, I have little kids. If I want to take them outside, I can't do it when the sky is red and it looks apocalyptic out there. But early in the morning, when they wake up anyways because they're little kids and they have too much energy, then I can take them to the park. And that also happens to be when I'm not completely exhausted. Anyways, thanks for subscribing so I can get another one of these. And I will see you in the next one.